Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about a card from this tarot deck. This is the Witch's Tarot and it is by Ellen Cannon Reed and Martin Cannon. If you see this deck, I'm pretty sure it's still in print. Pick it up. It's a really cool deck. It has a lot of popping and beautiful and interesting colors that are presented within the tarot cards. That's one of the things that kind of drew me to this deck over 20 years ago. And another thing that I thought was really cool that they put on this deck, because it is the Witch's Tarot, is the back of the card. Each card has a pentagram on the back. So it's like that. It's really, really cool. Now, this tarot deck doesn't have a double card. It has the horned one, which I thought was really cool and different from other tarot decks that have a double card. This is the horned one in this deck, and it is a very very unique um, depiction here because, like I said, most of the tarot decks that I have, they have a double card, and this one doesn't have one. It has a horn, a horned one, which I thought was really cool. And the figure here looks sort of like Carnunos, like the Lord of the Forest or the God of the Forest. He has antlers, and he's got to be, judging from this, he has to be something like 10 feet, 12 feet tall, or even taller. And if you look at this, it's sort of like the couple comes across Carnunos, and they're sort of startled. And this is really, really cool. And Carnunos sort of has what looks like a loincloth made of leaves that he's wearing. You can't really see that in this video here, but that looks like what he's wearing. So he's not completely nude. The couple, of course, is. And they come across him and they're sort of like startled. And I'm guessing that because, they're not wearing too many clothes, that this is in the spring or the summertime, and they're out making love, and all of a sudden the horn god appears, which is really, really cool. And then it startles them. The horn god basically means, or basically represents the god of nature. He represents procreation. He represents, springtime, summertime, when things grow, things procreate, and life goes on. So this is a very, very, very cool card. And if you look out here, it looks like they're doing all of this in the full moon, by the light of the moon. It's a great, great card. And another thing that I just actually noticed right here, it looks like they have the sun here too. So it represents male and female. The female being the moon, and the male being the sun. Carnunos being the regenerative powers of nature. Um, that is basically showing up to give his approval. And it sort of startles them, but I don't think they're afraid. And this is really cool. This is a cool card for someone who lives here in Michigan, where we have a lot of wooded area, where we see deer. We see deer at times we don't necessarily want to see deer when we're driving to work, or and all of a sudden a deer pops out. And this has happened to me. I could take 2 or 3 times, and it happened to me one time when I was in the middle of the city, and all of a sudden this deer just kind of walks across, and I almost hit it. And it's like, you're in the city, and it's like, why are you here? It must have been, I would say, maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, so I don't know why the deer was out in the metropolitan area that time of night, but it was out there looking for food or a mate or whatever. And it was definitely something I was not expecting, but I did not hit it. So I don't think anyone else hit it. It just kind of slowed things down, which was cool. But we see them all the time here in Michigan. At least I do. So, interesting card. I've read from this deck before. I might pull this deck out and start reading from it again. It's been a while since I've read from this deck. Um, this deck is probably way over 20 years old, and I got it, I think, way over 20 years ago. And I love this deck. I love the color scheme of this deck. I love the card. And like I said, is yes, Carnunos here represents the um, powers and the regenerative um, powers of nature here. He is the nectar of nature and procreation. All right, just wanted to kind of share this with you and share this deck with you. Pretty sure you can get it from Amazon. If you get it, tell them Merlin sent you. All right, until next time, Uncle Jocelyn and peace.